All right, today we're going to be learning how to set up HubSpot from the user perspective. So you just got invited to a HubSpot portal. You got an email. It says, join us in HubSpot. Now what? This video is going to teach you everything you need to do to set up your HubSpot portal correctly so you have the best experience in HubSpot as a user. All right, in our last video, we saw this from the administrator's perspective on all of the different options that you have when you invite a user to your portal. Today, we're going to be looking at it from the user's perspective on everything they need to do to set up their portal correctly and have the best experience in HubSpot. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see as a new user in HubSpot is an email from HubSpot inviting you to join them in a portal. So it's going to say, in this case, join Derek Savage in HubSpot. Derek Savage invited you to HubSpot. It's a platform that brings together everything you need to grow better. Get started by joining them. So I am going to join HubSpot. So when I click the button on the email, it's going to take me to this screen here, join your team in HubSpot. Now you have a few options here. If you're federated with either Google or Microsoft, you can continue with Google or you can continue with Microsoft. In this case, we're going to continue with email where it's going to ask us to create a password. So continue with email. I'm going to continue as Robert Paulson. I am a sales manager at Savage Media. And this is going to be, let's see, I use 1Password for all my stuff. I totally recommend you guys use it. Okay, so I've created my password. Preparing my account, secure your account. It wants me to set up two-factor authentication. I highly recommend, especially if you are in an admin level or anybody that has access to things in HubSpot, that you set up two-factor authentication. It's really, really important to keep your data secure. So go ahead and do this either with your authentication app or via text message to a phone number that you have access to. All right, I'm going to copy this into my password manager. In this case, I'm using 1Password. Then I'm going to go next. I'm going to paste my 1Password authentication code in here to verify the app. It's going to give me backup codes. In this case, I am going to print those on my printer, save that, hit next. Authentication app set up. So I'm good to go on two-factor authentication. Next, it's going to ask you how much help you want in understanding how to use HubSpot. Now, if you click, I've never used CRM tools before, it's going to be super helpful. Everything you click on is going to have some kind of tooltip pop up, some kind of tutorial pop up, some kind of thing giving you a helping hand. Now, in my case, I know my way around HubSpot pretty well, so I'm not going to want any of that. But it is going to ask me what I want to explore first. I'm a sales manager, so I'm going to click Sales. One of the first things it's going to show you is the user guides, depending on what role you selected. You're really not going to want to do much of this as a line level user in HubSpot. This is more for admin users in HubSpot in order to make sure that the portal is set up correctly. So as a user, what I'm going to want to do is go to the user icon at the top, click that, and then select Profile and Preferences in blue, right under my name and my email address. This is going to take me to my user preferences. These are all the things you want to set up. So starting from the top here, I'm going to start with my profile image. You better have a profile image. If you're rolling in HubSpot without a profile image, I'm going to call you out. All right, so Robert Paulson, here we go. We're going to save that. And phone number, I'm going to be 317-203-9368. My default homepage for Robert Paulson, he's a sales manager. He wants to be in deals. So we're going to save that. Moving on. Email. So here's a cool thing. It says connect personal email. This is not your personal email. This is not your Gmail account. This isn't your Yahoo account. This is your personal business work email, right? So what we'll want to do is connect this to HubSpot and turn on inbox automation. What this does is it allows HubSpot to automate the logging and the tracking of all of the emails that go in and out of HubSpot. Now there's another part to this because you don't want to log and track everything, so we'll set that up as well. But we want to turn on inbox automation. We're going to connect our inbox, and it's going to be robert.paulson@savagemedia.com, and we're going to click next, and we're going to connect to Gmail. So go through the prompts, and huzzah, your connection is now complete. And it will establish connection, it'll send a test mail from your inbox, verify the connection, and ask you to download the extension. Now, this one has my email address because Robert Paulson's an alias for me. But you'll want to download and install the sales extension for your inbox. That gives you so many other features. We'll make another video later about the sales extension, but it's worth it. So make sure that you have your inbox automation turned on. So here we have the option of adding an email alias. An email alias is if you want to send emails from a different email address than what your main login is. So for instance, if I'm robert.paulson at savagemedia.com, but we have a sub-brand called savageservices.com, and I also have an email address there, I don't have to have a different user account for that. I can just use this as an email alias, robert.paulson at savageservices.com, which we don't have. Don't try to go there. But if we did, Robert Paulson could use that as an email alias, send emails from that email address. Everything would work, one user account. Now, the next thing is the email signature. If I have a fancy HTML email signature, this is where I would add that. So if you need to create a custom email signature, comment down below. I might reply with a good recommendation. Next, we have include unsubscribe link. If you are going to be sending cold emails, this is very, very important. If you're going to be sending cold emails to prospects, which I don't recommend doing, but if you do, include an unsubscribe link. This will keep them, hopefully, from blocking you or reporting you as spam, which will ultimately hurt your domain's email deliverability rate. Make sure they have a way to opt out if you are cold emailing prospects. Even if you're warm emailing prospects and it's a sales conversation, make sure they have a way to unsubscribe to your sales emails. Okay, next is never log. So if you're using inbox automation and HubSpot sees an email come in through your email, or you're sending emails to people, HubSpot's going to want to add that person as a contact and log that email and track everything that they're doing. You don't want that for everybody. You don't want, I don't know, like if you're interacting with third parties like attorneys or accountants or even people internal to your company to show up as contacts in HubSpot and all of their emails being logged by default. That would be terrible. So what you want to do is use their domains in the never log area to keep them from being logged in HubSpot. So if we want all of Savage Media to not be logged in HubSpot, I'm going to add that domain and or a specific email address to never log, and it does exactly that. It never logs their emails. Okay, next, calling. So this is where you want to set up your HubSpot phone number, and you can put your own phone number in here and have HubSpot ring to your phone number, or you can just have it ring the HubSpot desktop app. Now, the other thing you can do here is you can set your working hours so HubSpot will only ring you during working hours. So that's pretty cool. The other thing you can do is assign if you want to have HubSpot call through HubSpot calling or through a integrated third party, in this case, Just Call on the Savage Media portal. That's another calling app that we use. And then you can either ring in the HubSpot browser or you can forward to a phone number. If you forward to a phone number, it's going to ask you for the phone number that you want to forward to, and you would set that up there pretty well. Okay, next tab is calendar. So this one's pretty easy. If you're using Outlook or Google as your calendar, just sync your calendar to HubSpot. Any appointments that you set up in HubSpot are going to show up in your calendar. You can also use this to integrate like Zoom links and things like that if you set appointments with people. Super handy. And you can do a tasks calendar. So if you have tasks in HubSpot and you want to set that to like a separate calendar that it shows up on that you can choose to view or not view, you can set that up. And typically you'll want to call that something like HubSpot tasks. So in Google, for instance, you would create a new calendar, call it HubSpot tasks, take that calendar and sync it to HubSpot as your tasks calendar. That's where all your tasks will live. Meeting scheduling pages are about availability. So if you want to make sure that you're only shown as available whenever all the stars align on all of your calendars, you'll want to add extra calendars to this. So in this, I have a task calendar, a business calendar, and a personal calendar set up to my user account here. For meetings, you can determine what you want your meeting URL to be. Some people like to personalize their meeting URL. You can go with the default if you want. And then on meeting domain, you definitely want to set that up as your company's domain. So it's just not a generic HubSpot meeting domain. Default meeting link, you can set that up here as well once you set up your meetings. And scheduling pages, you can turn on or off if you like. With chat profile, you can include a link to your meetings booking page in the messages chat window. For a sales manager, that's not going to be appropriate, so we're not going to worry about that here. Next is tasks. This is the default for if you want a follow-up task to be created. How long in the future do you want that follow-up task to be? And then if you want to get prompted to create a follow-up task every time you complete a task from a list view. Next is security. This is the last thing. Here, if your email address ever changes, this is where you update your email address. This is also where you reset your password. You can do this on a per user basis. If you want to change your trusted phone number, if you want to delete your trusted phone number, if you want to change your two-factor authentication method, this is where you would do all of that. Lastly, if you want to log out of all your sessions because you think your security has been compromised, or if you just want to deactivate your account or remove yourself from this HubSpot portal, that all gets done in the security tab. Hopefully you found this content useful. If so, please subscribe to the channel. Please give us a like. Comment below any other HubSpot videos that you'd like to see in the future. And in the meantime, my name's Derek Savage. I'll see you on the next one.